Hi guys, welcome back to Journey with Fee. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday and you closed out 2020 as best as you could and welcome 2021 with open arms. If you are new here, I share about my world and life explorations and inspirations. So before I tell you how I ended my 2020, let me give you a quick second to go ahead and subscribe. If you saw my last video, you would have known that I have been itching, dying to get away. And this time around, I decided to take the plunge and just go for it and book. And I decided to travel back home to Jamaica. I felt I needed the mental break to, relax, get refocused, get re-energized. I actually had planned to go to Jamaica during the December of 2020 pre-pandemic. So going this time around just simply means that my plans had to be altered. Apart from seeing family and friends, when I visit Jamaica, I go for the sun, the beach, and the food. And one of the very first things I did when I arrived in Jamaica is I had to have some KFC barbecue spicy chicken wings. Now, if you've had Jamaican KFC chicken before, primarily the barbecue chicken, you know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. It is unmatched. I implore anybody when you go to Jamaica, yes, I should be telling you to try out our native foods, but no, KFC, but since it's such a international food item, try it there and I tell you, you will not be disappointed. All right, let me get out my KFC rant. So we decided to go to Trelawney, to this place called Lashings Resort and Villas. It's about 2.5 hours away from Kingston, and it has more of an eco-touristy vibe. Now, to get there, this is in the country, it's not, my backyard. We opted to use the GPS, and it took us almost there, almost there. When it said you've reached your destination, it was literally at a point on the side of the road. No, it was not our destination. We actually had to stop and ask a passerby, where is this? Where is Lashings? And they said, oh, you passed it. You have to go back up the road. And if you've ever asked a Jamaican for direction, you know how troubling it can be because there are no street signs. So the gentleman said, go back up the road, drive about 5 minutes and go up the hill, and then you're going to make a left turn. So, okay, we turned back and we were driving for a while and we're like, we can't see the hill, cannot see the hill. So we stopped and we end up asking about 2 other persons until we finally found the place. So I must say, this is one of the hardest places I visited, or one of the places I visited that was the hardest to locate, especially using the GPS. The sign on the main road that turns you off on that left turn is actually very small. It's very small, but nonetheless, when you get to the place, it will not disappoint. It is absolutely beautiful. Hey guys, so today we are at Lashings. We're staying at the villa, right, in St. Elizabeth. So I'm going to take you on a tour for a room. Isn't this cute? All right, entering into the room. Isn't this cozy? This is the bathroom. Oh, and the shower is an outdoor shower. Look at that. Very interesting. All right. For dinner, we stopped at Jack Sprat, which was not too far from the villa, but you do have to drive. And, we went there at night to have dinner on the beach. I had fried fish and festival. The fish was absolutely wonderful. I must say though, the festival, I will not give it 100. Um, I guess you can say I've been spoiled by growing up on the Hellshire Festival, but it wasn't terrible. But it was a really good place. Food was actually really good. I'm leaving out in the morning, as I told you when we stayed for a night. We stopped by this really quaint cook shop called Smurfs and had breakfast. So I had a traditional breakfast of ackee and saltfish, which is the country's national dish, and paired that with some fried dumpling, which in some other Caribbean countries they may call it bakes. It tasted so good. I must say though, it was not expensive at all, and the sheer size of the plate, I must admit, it was way too much for me to handle. So after leaving Smurfs, we decided, okay, we're gonna head to Appleton Rum Estate for a tour. Again, we decided to rely on the GPS, and again, it failed us. We started driving, and the road went from asphalt to dirt. The road got narrow, the grass got taller, the houses got fewer and fewer as we drove. And we were like, no, we're going to turn back. We are going to turn back. There must be another way, because this way did not look safe at all. I don't know where the GPS was taking us. Maybe that used to be a route at one point in time, but no way, Jose. Okay, so we decided to venture out to Port Antonio, Portland, which is on the northeastern side of the country. This right here was one of the main reasons I originally wanted to go to Jamaica. I've heard great things about the Blue Lagoon, and I've always wanted to go, and I must say I have checked it off my list. From Kingston, it is about a good 3 hours drive. It is really far, simply because currently there is no highway that goes to that section right now. Portland is one of those parishes that has managed to preserve their lusciousness. It's underdeveloped, so you won't find any major hotel chains, any mass development. What you mostly find are small, quaint villas and really private resorts, which means you are paying for privacy. So Port Antonio, Portland is typically very expensive. Now, the Blue Lagoon used to be called the Blue Hole, but because of the movie with Brooke Shields called the Blue Lagoon, everybody just started calling it Blue Lagoon, so that became its name thereafter. The water there is pristine. It's clear. It is so blue. And this may also be a combination of the fact that it is where the river meets the Caribbean Sea. So there's a nice mix there. Because it's mixing at the top, if you're in the water, if you decide to jump off and venture in, the top surface is warm and the bottom surface can be a little bit cold. We took a raft. That's the only way to experience the Blue Lagoon. So you have to actually go out on a raft, and we stopped off at this island off the coast called Monkey Island. It's just a small, quaint place. It's kind of like a beach setting. You come out, there's sand, you can enjoy yourself there, or you can venture around to the lagoon side. And there, I'll insert a picture here of where I jumped off, and the lagoon ranges from about 150 feet deep to a little bit over 200 feet. And from where I entered the water, I was told that, that section is about 213 feet deep. And this is one of those really popular areas that divers actually train. At the Blue Lagoon, you're not going to find restrooms, you're not going to find changing rooms. So you pretty much have to bring everything you think you're going to need. There are a few vendor stands if you want to buy souvenirs, but you're not going to find food there or restrooms or anything like that. There is a small bar though, so if you want something to drink, you can get that there. We decided after leaving Blue Lagoon, we decided to go get lunch. We went to this resort which was literally a stone throws away, called G-Jam. And again, for the third time, we decided to depend on GPS and got lost again. This time it was telling us to make a left to which no road existed. But we did find our way again by stopping asking persons. And this resort is so private that there are absolutely no signs advertising it, absolutely no signs telling you where this place is. The only sign we saw is when you actually get up to it's about a good 15-foot tall wooden gate. There is a small plaque sign to the side of the gate. That's the only signage. And at that point, if you're driving, you're probably going to drive straight past the gate. You literally have to stop to see it. So they do a really good job of keeping it secluded. Lunch there was great. I opted to have some curry goat. Again, this is a Jamaican favorite, a Jamaican staple. If you go to Jamaica, definitely get some curry goat and white rice. Absolutely wonderful. And the chef here did not disappoint. Food was great. And while we were eating in true Portland fashion, it started to rain. And I mean, it started to pour. Because Portland is preserved and so lush and so mountainous, it will just randomly rain and just shower. Do it for about an hour and then it will stop and clear up. Like, it's really hard to depict the weather there. G-Jam was great. We actually took a walk around, and if you go to their website, you will notice how exquisite and exclusive these rooms are. I don't know if I could ever afford a room there, maybe one day in my lifetime, but the food was good there, and I think the room and the ambiance would be great as well. So of course I have to tell you about my budget for this trip. This time around, because with pandemic and all, definitely was not going to be able to do all that I had hoped to do during a regular year. So the budget I allocated for this trip was $1,000 US, which is about half what I typically allocate to any vacation. The reason it could be that low is because I went home, I was staying with family, so the price of accommodation was eliminated. For my flight, I opted to book directly through the airline company, and this time around it was JetBlue. Typically, I advocate for third-party airlines or third-party travel agencies, but with the pandemic going on, I've heard so many stories about people booking flights, then having to change or cancel at the last minute for whatever reason, and it just proving to be really difficult. So I opted, let me just book directly at the source. Now, I must tell you, if you fly into Montego Bay Airport, which is on the North Coast, you'll pay about half the price than if you flew to Kingston, which is Norman Manley International Airport, which is on the South Coast. Granted, both airports flying is about 30 minutes apart from each other, but the airline rate to fly to Kingston is twice as much. So what did budget-friendly fee do? I arrived in Montego Bay and I departed through Kingston, allowing me to spend a little bit over $400 on my plane ticket. Now, if you plan to stay in Kingston and the surrounding areas, driving to Montego Bay is going to be no less than an hour and a half. So make sure you have someone to pick you up and who has that time dedicated. But I was able to do that to save myself some money. Then I allocated about $500 to go towards regular food, excursions, any souvenirs or anything I wanted to bring back for family and friends. All right, let's do the breakdown. So my total budget was $1,000. What I spent on airfare and hotel, this includes the Lashing overnight stay, was $539. Food and excursions came up to $425, and total spent was $964.07. Yay! Still under budget. So how do I feel about my trip? I must say, money well spent. It was definitely time that I needed to take. If you see the pictures, you'll see how great the place is. If you're ever stressed, this place can definitely relax you, de-stress you, give you energy, and make you feel recharged and ready to tackle the world again. I actually spent a lot of money on food, which is fine. I actually always do that because I can't always get everything I want here in the States. So, of course, on my way back, I made sure to pack some extra snacks that I can't get. Bought an extra bucket of KFC barbecue chicken to bring back. Brought back some Island Grill, which is Jamaica's jerk chicken fast food restaurant type of thing. Brought back food, a lot of food. I wasn't there for a very long time, but of course, had to put on a few pounds. While I was there, I definitely had some fruits. I had some coconut and some real coconut jelly. Not these coconut waters that we buy here in the grocery store. Trust and believe, it tastes completely different. Had myself some berries, which is one of my favorite fruits. Don't really see it many other places. Definitely haven't seen it here in the States. And it's hard. You have to catch it at the right season. I haven't had it in about 15 years. So it was so good. Glad I was able to have that. And guys, it was a wonderful trip. Absolutely wonderful. Okay, guys, I hope this video was not too long, but I definitely had to share with you my trip and how I ended 2020. So go ahead and give this video a like, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe so that you can be notified of my new upcoming videos. And I definitely have something interesting in store for you. Until next time, watch my other videos and live life creatively and simply. See ya!